Good evening. This is High Point Mayor Cyril Jefferson convening the regular meeting of the High Point City Council. We have all members of council here with us. Before we get into our agenda, we're actually going to ask for a moment of silence and pledge of allegiance. So if you all will please join us in that. Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. As I stated before, we've got a agenda for this evening with a number of items on them, but before we get to that, we actually are going to ask to adopt our agenda, and in adopting, see if there are any items that a council member would like to have removed from consent. If there are no items, then I'll entertain a motion to adopt our agenda.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
There's a motion made by Mayor Pro Tem, seconded by Councilmember Andrew. Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those against? That motion passes, and we have our agenda. All right, we've got a number of proclamations and resolutions that we get to do today, and I'm very excited because all of these, I think, hit on key things that are important to our community. And so we'll ask you all to bear with us in celebrating all of these occasions. The first we get to do is a proclamation for Arbor Day, and for that reason, I'm going to ask Amy McBride, our senior planner, if you'll come forward. Amy, I'm going to present this proclamation to you. How are you doing, Amy? We're going to walk out to the center. How are you doing today?
We're doing good.
Okay, good.
Okay.
This is my good side.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. All right. Whereas trees are a precious natural resource that improve the appearance of our community, increase the value of property, moderate air temperature, lower energy costs, reduce soil erosion and storm water runoff, and produce life-giving oxygen. And whereas in 1872, J. Sterling Morton proposed to the Nebraska Board of Agriculture that a special day be set aside for the planting of trees. And whereas this special day, known as Arbor Day, is now celebrated throughout the nation and world. And whereas the state of North Carolina has determined that Arbor Day shall be celebrated annually on the first Friday following the 15th of March. And whereas the city of High Point has created an urban forestry program to conserve, protect, and maintain trees in city spaces. Now, therefore, I, Cyril Jefferson, Mayor of the City of High Point, do hereby proclaim March 22nd, 2024 as Arbor Day for the City of High Point, and call upon all of High Point citizens within our city to participate in ceremonies and activities to preserve and enhance our community's urban forests for the benefit of all residents and visitors. Can we please celebrate Arbor Day, everyone? And I believe you've got some comments for us? Okay, awesome.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and council members. I'm Amy McBride, Senior Planner with the Planning and Development Department, and I'm happy to inform you that High Point has received its 20th Tree City USA designation. The city earned this recognition by meeting the program's 4 requirements of having a tree board, a public tree ordinance, a community forestry program with annual expenditures of at least $2 per capita, and an Arbor Day observance and proclamation. This recognition means that as a community, we understand that trees play an important and practical role in the beautification of our city. It also takes responsible stewardship. The city's Urban Forestry Committee oversees implementation of our public tree ordinance and the guidelines and standard practices that all property owners are encouraged to follow. This past year, with your support, we've continued to implement new tree plantings, ensuring that at least one tree is planted for every tree removed on city property. Our Plant to Remember Memorial Tree Program continues to grow. Since 2010, a total of 127 trees have been donated from the public. And we are also hosting our first tree giveaway for city residents on Saturday, March 16th. This year, 250 native trees will be planted in our city in observance of North Carolina Arbor Day. And we're excited to make this a new tradition for the city and bring people together and to be a source of community pride. The Urban Forestry Committee continues to work with local community groups, including Keep High Point Beautiful and High Point University, on planting projects throughout the city. And as you heard from Mayor Jefferson's reading of the Arbor Day proclamation, there are many economic benefits to planting trees. They improve the quality of our air, reduce runoff, and enhance the beauty of our city for everyone to enjoy. And thank you for your continued support of the Urban Forestry Committee's work. Thank you.
Amy, thank you so much for that. That was fantastic. This next item is a proclamation for women in construction, and I'm excited because actually this week we get to host a regional group who's going to come in. They're coming into Condon Yards on Friday. Myself and my good friend Megan Oglesby, we're going to sit down with them and talk about women in construction because it's a very important thing. And while they couldn't be here with us this evening, we still want to recognize them. So I'm going to read the proclamation here this evening because it actually is Women's History Month. Does everyone know it's Women's History Month? Yeah? I know all the women in the room know it's Women's History Month. All the men are getting red in the face, like, oh crap, I didn't know. All right, here we go. Whereas the Piedmont chapter number 109 of Women in Construction has distinguished itself in the High Point community, and celebrates the voice of women in construction in the Piedmont Triad region, and whereas the focus of Women in Construction Week is to highlight women as a visible component of the construction industry and provides an occasion for members across the country to raise awareness of the opportunities available and to emphasize the growing role of women in the industry. And whereas the Piedmont Triad Chapter 109 has unceasingly promoted the employment and advancement of women in the construction industry, and whereas the construction community represented by the Piedmont Chapter 109 has been a driving force in fostering community development through renovation and beautification projects, promotion of skilled trade careers, and a positive vision of the future. And whereas the Piedmont Chapter 109 has sought to achieve successful results for the Piedmont Triad and surrounding areas in a cooperative spirit with other organizations, now therefore be it proclaimed that I, Cyril Jefferson, Mayor of the City of High Point, do hereby recognize the Piedmont Triad Chapter number 109 and its many dedicated volunteers for its steadfast work on behalf and support of women in construction, and do proudly proclaim the week of March 3rd to March 9th, 2024 as Women in Construction Week. Can we please celebrate that as well? This item was one brought to us actually by Council Member Cooks. I'm going to ask her to come on down here with me as well. And then we've got some folks from GCS Arts Education Department. Did anyone walk in through the lobby today? Did anyone see all the artwork that was in the lobby? Was it not the best artwork that you've seen all day? Huh? I'm kidding. It's probably the best you've seen all year. Are the folks from GCS Arts Education still here with us? Will you all please come up and join us? We're going to take pictures, and I think our pictures are going to look a whole lot better with you in it. So if you'll join us. Whereas all students have the right to an arts education that includes dance, media arts, music, theater, and visual arts taught by certified arts educators in partnership with community providers. And whereas arts education has the power to change students' lives and is a key to reigniting students' learning in a post-COVID-19 world. And whereas arts education helps nurture healthy, inclusive communities where all points of view are respected. And whereas arts education experiences help students understand their own cultural roots and appreciate other cultural roots and traditions as well. And whereas arts education supports the social and emotional well-being of students, it fosters a more positive, safer school environment. And whereas arts education is part of the well-rounded education for every student outlined in the Every Student Succeeds Act and in state law, therefore be it resolved that the High Point City Council commends and recognizes the need for arts education and its importance in shaping well-rounded students. Will you all please celebrate arts education? And just as a point of privilege, I see the president of our High Point Arts Council here with us. Allie Arpesian, will you please come up and join us, please, for this picture? Will you all please celebrate Allie as she comes up? All right, y'all, I think we're gonna get together for a picture. Amanda, why don't you come to the middle? Here you go, and you can hold it. For those who don't know, Councilmember Cook and myself are both former educators, but she's a former arts educator herself, and so we're both very excited about this. Awesome. Thank you all so much. Thank you. Now, did you all say that the art downstairs is for sale? Did you all say that? You can negotiate. Okay. If anyone wants to support the arts educators downstairs, we can negotiate a price. So it is springtime. You all to enjoy that. Thank you all so much for coming. Seriously, I appreciate you. The next item on our agenda is recognition of the City of High Point's Electric Utilities Department. The City of High Point's Electric Utilities Department has been awarded the Reliable Public Power Provider Diamond status by the American Public Power Association. I would like to call forward Tyler Barrier, the Utilities Director for our Electric Department. And as he comes forward, would you all please celebrate him and his team? Tyler, calling you forward, do you mind just telling us a little bit more about this award and why our electric department won it?
Sure. So the award is based on 4 criteria. One is workforce development, reliability, system improvements, and safety. That's right. Most important, safety.
Safety, that's
Thank you, Eric. We track a lot of matrices in our utility, and so if you're going to have that data, you need to use it. And that's basically what we're doing here, is we're taking the information that we're given and we're trying to make it better for the citizens. We appreciate your support in all that we do. I know a lot of the decisions we make sometimes are not popular, but they are for the betterment of the city and for our electric grid, and thank you for that.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. We appreciate you all and what you all do. Most folks don't know it, but High Point is not like a lot of other municipalities within the state. We actually provide our own electric power, which means that when power goes out, we've got our own local folks who get to respond very quickly to ensure all those things you said before, and safety, of course, to ensure that our residents are taken care of. We appreciate you and your team. Please relay on behalf of this council how much we appreciate all of their incredible hard work, and that we want to do everything we can to support them as we continue providing services to our residents. Thank you, Tyler.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. All right. Well, thank you all for bearing with us on those proclamations, resolutions, and recognitions. We're now at the public comment period of our meeting, and we have one person signed up to speak. And for that, I'm going to invite up Mr. Ken Orms to the podium. We ask that when you come forward, please share your name and your address. We also ask that you keep your comments and remarks to less than 3 minutes. Even if you did not sign up, you still have the right to speak during public comment period. We just ask that you line up behind the podium. Thank you so much.
Good evening. My name is Ken Orms. I live at 3525 Sainsbury Lane in High Point. Without asking taxpayers what they thought or wanted, the council has already decided to build a new $70 million city hall after recently buying the church property. At 3% interest over 20 years, that $70 million price tag will grow to $93 million, including interest. Recently, one current and one former city council member told me the new city hall will probably cost $100 million, or more than $133 million, including interest. If the council wants a new city hall, you must put it on a referendum and let taxpayers decide if they want to go deeper into debt to pay for your extravagant and unnecessary spending. I thought buying the church property was a mistake, so a year ago, I sent every council member an idea saying High Point should move City Hall to the HPU-owned Oak Hollow Mall and lease space there for up to 100 years. According to High Point 2045 data, the mall is the geographic and demographic center of High Point. As a private citizen, I also had several conversations with HPU about this idea. But apparently the city and council didn't even consider this idea or have any discussions with HPU, even though I received positive feedback from several members of the council. My idea was to spend $15 million to renovate a portion of the mall and move City Hall and other departments there. The council could then sell this current City Hall to offset the renovation costs. I also suggested that Guilford County might want to move into the mall as well. It would be great to have a High Point governmental city in the heart of the city where it belongs. The city and county properties could be sold and redeveloped into areas for housing, shopping, businesses, restaurants, and entertainment. The $11 million church property also offers the same type of redevelopment opportunities, so sell it. Turn it into an area that people will actually use because nobody goes downtown on nights or weekends to look at pretty empty government buildings. Mayor Jefferson, you have said that the city must continue to invest downtown first and neglect the neighborhoods, at least for now. Not really a good policy because it tells everyone what you really think about the neighborhoods. If you value a shiny new building for council more than the neighborhoods, I guess those taxpayer residents will just have to wait their turn before anything is done to make their lives better. If you don't like the Oak Hollow Mall option or HPU is not interested, here's another idea. Invest in downtown and the neighborhoods. Build a two-story addition over the existing sloped parking area located on each side of the current City Hall. There's plenty of room and will cost a lot less than $133 million. Then take some of that $133 million that you didn't waste on a new City Hall for yourselves and invest in the neighborhood. In closing, you owe it to all taxpayers to thoroughly examine all options before putting everyone another $133 million in debt. It's your job, so just do it.
Thank you, Mr. Orms. Our next speaker, it looks like we have Reverend Frank Thomas. Will you please step to the podium, and if you want to restate your name, you can.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor. Reverend Frank Thomas, I pastor Mount Zion Baptist Church, 753 Washington Street. Over the past probably 10 years, I have used this time to come before council to hold you accountable for several things that I believe that people in our community deserve, need, and want council to hear. I have kind of been seen and viewed as sometimes the voice for the voiceless. But tonight, I come for a different reason. I come for a word of encouragement. Come for a word of encouragement to our council, because this time is for citizens to come and hold you accountable. And I'm thankful for this council for stepping up and making some bold steps in just a short period of time. And I wanted to come publicly and say it because last council meeting, you voted in favor of the Fair Housing Ordinance, but it was a part of the consent agenda, so it kind of was under the radar. And for the past probably 6 months, I've been coming to council, talking to you and asking you to reconsider and approve the Fair Housing Ordinance. So I just wanted to come and say that even though this time is for holding you accountable, aside from at the ballot, we do want you to know that we do appreciate all the work that you do. And in the case of fair housing in particular, I just share these parting comments about all that is happening in our city. We can't all be better until we are all better. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Are there any other members of the public who wish to speak during public comment period? Please come forward, state your name and address, and then take about 3 minutes to let us know your remarks.
Thank you, Mayor Jefferson. Hello, all of City Council. I'm Allie Arpeggio. I'm the president of the Arts Council here. It's nice to see everybody. I was just coming with a couple updates, and first I wanted to publicly thank you all for coming a couple weeks ago when we launched our new strategic plan and our new brand. Everyone was really excited to see all their city council and the mayor present in that, and the energy was really great. Thanks to you all being there, so thank you so much. Just wanted to let you know of a couple new things that we've got going on at the Arts Council and everybody in the community as well. Of the 20th of this month, the Titan Civic Band, that's our new partnership with GTCC, they'll be doing their second concert, and it's an ode to the music of North Carolina. So that will be at 7 o'clock at the Arts Council building. And the day after, we're doing a lot more with the disability community. Just last month, Councilwoman Cook was able to come to our new sensory-friendly children's theater performances, which were so well attended that we added a fourth show that we didn't expect to. So we've been doing a lot to really embrace High Point being an autism city, and we're starting a new partnership with Aspire. And on the 21st, that is a Thursday evening, they're going to be doing a talent show in our space at the High Point Arts Council. On the 24th of this month, we also have our annual Bridal Expo that we have. And the last thing I'll say is our Artful Business cohort that we started this year. That is a group of artists, marginalized artists in the community, that the first 8 weeks they're getting fundamental art skills, and then the next 8 weeks they're getting business skills. This has been really, really highly successful. And they're wrapping up the cohort, and we're embracing Market. So they're going to show in our space with Market. As you know, we park cars, and we have a lot of market goers coming into our space and always asking, what's in here? So now there'll be art in there. And on April 15th, they'll have their first exhibition, and we invite everybody to come and see the incredible work. We are showing 17 artists currently. And from what Sabrina Tillman has told me, it's one of the only spaces in the area right now for emerging artists to show their work. So we're really proud, and we're grateful for y'all's support, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Allie.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate it. Any other members of the public who wish to speak during public comment period? If not, we will thank those who took time and transition from the public comment period of our meeting. Next item on our agenda are for our consent agenda items. Is there a motion to approve our consent agenda items?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda items.
Second.
It's a motion made by Councilmember Andrew and a second made by Councilmember Peters. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any against? The ayes have it, and that motion passes. The next item, item 2024-080, is a public hearing on Series 2024 General Obligation Streets and Sidewalk Bonds. At this time, I'm going to open the public hearing and call on Bobby Fitzjohn to come forward. He's our Director of Finance to explain a little bit more about this item.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council. I've been up here the last couple meetings talking about this item. It's the issuance of $5,425,000 in street and sidewalk bonds. They'll be used to fund the Samet Drive Extension Project you all awarded last month, as well as go to some design costs for the Triangle Lake project that's coming up, or actually are underway. So tonight is the public hearing, the adoption of the bond order, and then next council meeting on March 18th, we'll ask you to consider approval of the winning bank lender, as well as a final resolution authorizing the bonds.
Thank you so much. Any questions for staff from council? We don't have anyone who signed up to speak on the public hearing for this item, but are there any members of the public who wish to speak for public hearing? If not, then I'll go ahead and close the public hearing and entertain a motion to approve this item.
Motion to approve. Second.
It's a motion made by Mayor Pro Tem Holmes and a second made by Councilmember Johnson. Any discussion on this motion? Hearing none, all of those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any against? The ayes have it, and that motion passes. Next item is 2024-085, consideration of appointments to the Library Board of Trustees. Council is requested to confirm Mayor Jefferson's recommendation to appoint Joanna Cruz, term effective immediately and expire on October 31st, 2024. and Councilmember McKeever's recommendation to appoint Cynthia Ham, term effective immediately and expire on October 31st, 2026, to the Library Board of Trustees. I'll make the motion to approve this item. Is there a second?
Second.
Second made by Councilmember McKeever. Any discussion on this motion?
Point of clarification, Ms. Cruz's appointment's only until October of this year?
Yes, sir, it's because it's an unexpired term.
Okay.
Thank you for the clarification. Any other discussion on this motion? Any other questions? I'll note that our Director of the Library, Mary Sizemore, is here with us, who was very helpful in helping us to identify some folks who could fill in these seats. Are they with you here this evening? Well, I'm sure on behalf of this council, to say thank you and appreciate what you all are doing to serve. So thank you so much. If there's no discussion, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any against? That motion passes. Thank you all again. At this time, we have come to the end of our meeting. Are there any announcements from council?
Yes. I'd like to take this time to thank High Point Parks and Recreation specifically for the Heroes Club, which is a once-a-month meeting for veterans and their families, the first Friday of the month. I'd like to encourage all of our High Point veterans to get on the Facebook page or the website, the city website, and sign up. It's a great opportunity to meet fellow veterans and do different activities that represents Parks and Recreation. Previous month, we did archery. This past month, we did bowling, and next month, I think we're going to go on a hike at the Piedmont Environmental Center. So again, it's a great opportunity for High Point veterans and their families to meet together and to see the wonderful things that our city Parks and Recreation has available.
Thank you for that, Councilman Andrew. And again, thank you to Parks and Rec for that incredible program. Any other announcements from council?
This is a non-city thing. We're going to do our third neighborhood walk and cleanup in the Pershing Street area with Growing High Point, Keep High Point Beautiful, and Compassionate High Point this Saturday, if it doesn't rain. 9:30, Oak Grove Church, meet there.
Thank you so much, Councilman Harmon. Thank you, you and your group, for the neighborhood cleanup. Any other announcements?
I just want to remind everyone, if you didn't go through the lobby on your way in, please leave through the lobby and see the art and appreciate the work of our local students. This was really exciting for me to get to recognize their art, and so I want to make sure everybody here gets to appreciate it.
Agreed. Thank you for that. Any other announcements?
Somebody mentioned something about an election or something tomorrow. I just got a text message about it, but, you know, if you hadn't, and there's one guy from High Point that may show up on your ballot, so go out and vote.
Britt, thank you for the reminder. I'm sure some of us forgot. I'll mention that.
There's actually two.
There's actually two?
That's another race that has a High Pointer.
You're right. You're right. I'll mention to folks, next week, your council will travel to Washington, D.C. to speak with our delegation there on Capitol Hill. So we'll meet with members of Congress as well as our senators, where we are advocating on behalf of the city. In the past, these visits have turned into, I'd say, millions of dollars of investments for a number of projects for housing, infrastructure, small business support, and so on. And we're looking to go up there again next week and continue that successful trend of advocacy. We'll also go to a conference, the National League of Cities, Congressional Cities Conference. So keep us in prayer as we travel. Any other?
Thank you, Councilman Harmon. There is two spots with High Point, and they're both very important. Thank you.
That's a key point.
Mr. Mayor, we did meet with the Guilford delegation from the state this morning as well.
We did, and it was a fantastic meeting. Any other announcements from council? Hearing none, I entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second. Motion's been made by Councilman Britt Moore, second made by Councilmember Cook. Any discussion on that motion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any against? That motion passes and we are adjourned.